These are creepy TikToks that will make you rethink your whole reality.
Has just been shot in the parking lot of Shoppers Food Warehouse in Wheaton, Maryland. This would mark the beginning of a 3-week-long attack on innocent civilians across Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Good boy.
My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You gotta take the bitch to the woods. Quick burn. And when I talk to him, I show you in his home. That's the first guy.
Oh, that's the audio. After that, the call ends and Brandon was never seen or heard from.
I'm back, it's your boy Fittie to the E, and today we're looking at this compilation together, so grab your water, your popcorn, whatever you want. Just remember to subscribe and like the video because 90% of you guys are not subscribed. Like the video so it can get pushed to more people. If you like my chain, check my link down below. 99% of these chains are free right now. So if you want a free chain, check that link down below.
Now I'm sure by now, most of you have seen this photo flying around social media. It is a picture of the last Neanderthal. Oh my days. It says that this picture was taken in about 1901. Wow. And this Neanderthal was from the Netherlands. There's so much to our history that we do not know.
Neanderthal? I thought Neanderthals were those like monkey ape humans with the big foreheads, wide jaws. They're not like too tall, but they're like, you know, maybe like around 5'7", like just normal height. I don't think Neanderthals are giants. Maybe I'm wrong, but let me know down in the comments because I'm pretty sure Neanderthals aren't like giants.
Brandon Lawson, he was a guy who was driving on an interstate in Brant, Texas. He ran out of gas, right? And so his case is so famous because the 911 call, people listen to it and they say that they hear him saying different things. So I want you to listen to it and just decide for yourself what you think is going on here.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. It's like we're just pushing guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You gotta take the bitch to the woods. Quick burn. And when I talk to him, I show you in his home. That's the first guy.
You need an ambulance?
Yeah. No, I need to call.
So that's the audio. After that, the call ends and Brandon was never seen or heard from ever again.
Damn, I wonder what happened to him. If you think you know what happened to him, put it down in the comments.
Do you think ghosts can help solve cold cases? Well, throughout history, there's been reports of ghosts coming back to tell their loved ones who killed them, like the story of Fred Fisher. And if you're interested in these kind of stories, I just did a podcast episode on the most famous one. So in 1826, an Australian man by the name of Fred Fisher disappeared into thin air. But this never sat right with his best friend John, because Fred seemed to have left in the middle of the night and didn't take any of his stuff with him. Fred's neighbor claimed that he had gone back to England and had named him the power of attorney. And then his neighbor starts selling all of Fred's stuff. So John starts thinking that something is not right. So one night, months later, John is walking down the street, he's had a few drinks, and right when he's passing Fred's property, he sees a ghostly figure standing in his yard. It looks exactly like Fred, but he's completely pale with like this dead stare. And the figure just lifts one hand slowly and points past John to a creek that's behind him. So the next day, John goes down to the creek right around where this apparition was telling him to go, and sure enough, he finds Fred's body. Not only did this ghost lead John to Fred's body, but it also led to the arrest of the sketchy neighbor for his murder. This full story and more this week on the
For a second, I was like, bro, if a ghost showed me where to go, I'm never going there. I'm like, yo, first of all, I don't know what you are. Second of all, if you're telling me to go someplace, I think I'm getting set up. If I'm being honest, I think I'm getting set up. I wonder if that was a ghost of the guy that got killed. Could possibly be. That would make more sense.
The Muffin Man is actually a serial killer. You know the Muffin Man nursery rhyme, right? But did you know it was based on a dark true story. 1 second. Chocolate chip. Tastes like your mama booty. But yeah, the story is darker than you think. Because in the 1800s, there was a man named Frederick Thomas Linwood. And he would wait lurking in alleys, looking for his next victims. And they would always be kids. You see, he would kidnap them and unalive them, luring them in with muffins. I mean, what kid wouldn't want a tasty snack? When the townspeople got word of what was happening, they decided to come together and figure out a way to prevent this, to spread awareness amongst the kids and keep them safe, warning them about the Muffin Man, who was a danger on Drury Lane. You're walking past the alleyway and the Muffin Man gets you. Your fourth act sees this and tries to rescue you. Let me know who it is and let me know if you think you'd be doomed or not. Anyways, he's one of the first documented serial killers in the world. And everyone still teaches this song to their kids.
The Muffin Man is a weird ass dude. I hate when killers specifically target women and kids because it's like, bro, kids? I mean, people in general is just weird, but like the kids specifically, nah, you gotta be one sick MF to do that.
In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask the clerk for permission to visit someone who calls herself the holder of the beginning. A small smile will work its way over their mouth, almost as if to say, "You fool." You will then be taken down a long hallway, long enough that you would expect it to lead outside of the building. Yet, in clear violation of the laws of space and physics, it instead leads deep into the heart of the institution. The hall will be forever silent, even if you try to make noise. Screams will die before leaving your mouth, and footsteps will be muffled. In lieu of speech, your guide will simply point to a door. Beyond it lies a cozy room filled with a pleasant yet unidentifiable perfume. At the room's center, a beautiful woman holds her empty arms as if cradling something. This room will remain just as silent as the hallway that led to it, until you ask a singular question. Why were they separated? The woman will then explain, in excruciating detail, every horrific event in history. Every beating, every war, every rape, every killing. No travesty in the history of the universe will escape your ears. When she finishes, all will fall silent, and you will be free to leave. It is up to you to do what you will with this information. That woman is Object 2 of 538.
People are convinced that this is a skinwalker. Listen carefully. Skinwalkers have the ability to mimic the sounds of a human voice, and they have been known to portray themselves as crows. So could this be a skinwalker? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
I'm personally not trying to meet a skinwalker ever, so yeah, let's keep it that way.
This woman is truly the definition of an evil stepmother.
This is the heartbreaking case of Amani Moth, a little girl who was supposed to be taken care of by her stepmother. So Amani had a rough start to life. Her biological mother gave her up when she was born due to addiction, and Amani's father, Aman, gained full custody of her. He raised her mainly on his own, but in 2010 he met a woman while he was at church. That woman's name was Tiffany, and the pair would fall in love. A short time later, Aman and Tiffany would get married. Now Tiffany had 2 children of her own, and so the 2 families combined. However, Tiffany was particularly harsh to Amani. One day, Amani went to the nurse's office to tell the nurse that she was too afraid to go home. She said that her stepmother would beat her up due to a bad report card. When the nurse inspected the little girl, she saw bruises on her legs, and she knew that the story was true. Now, Tiffany was arrested and she admitted to hitting Amani. She was given 5 years of probation. And during this time, Amani was actually sent to live with her grandmother, and she absolutely thrived. Now, the grandmother begged Aman to let Amani stay with her, but Aman said no. So Amani actually went back to living with Tiffany. Now, Aman worked 2 jobs, and Tiffany was the sole carer of the family. There are no reports that she ever harmed her biological children, but Amani suffered greatly. She was starved, hit, and on one occasion, Tiffany cut off all of Amani's hair due to the fact that she was misbehaving. Now, everything came to a head on the 28th of October 2013. Amani sadly suffered a seizure, and for reasons I do not completely understand, she was never taken to hospital. Now later, Aman would say in court that Tiffany had convinced him not to, that they would lose custody of all their children if he did. Now, Aman tried to cover up Amani's death, But in the end, he confessed to a friend what had happened. And that friend told Aman that he had to go to the police and tell them everything. Tiffany was arrested and sentenced to death row, and Aman, who testified against Tiffany, received life in prison.
Bro thought he could have testified and got out of prison. Hell no, they're like, you still getting life, buddy. That's absolutely terrible. I feel bad for that little girl, bro. Hopefully her soul rests in peace.
You know how in the Philippines they had a whole rebellion, like a civil war?
Yeah.
Apparently, the way they stopped it, they used the Aswan. No, they used the Aswan to stop the civil war. The US had a lot of sanctions in the Philippines at the time, and they obviously didn't want them fighting and shit. So what they would do, they would find the rebel bodies. They would put 2 holes in their neck. So the dead rebels, they put 2 holes in their neck and hang them up on trees. So it looked like the Aswan god. It was so crazy, and the rebels believed it so much, there was a ceasefire and the revolution ended.
Wow.
They were that shook, bro. White people been playing with us the whole time, man. The whole time, fam. They didn't know.
So I thought that like they caught the Aswang and they released it to them.
No, that's
where
crazy.
it's like some Thanos shit where like if it snapped, like everyone would be
Yo,
dead.
let him out, let him out. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, but that's smart as fuck though.
Yeah.
Knowing Filipinos, they're mad superstitious.
Yeah.
They believe in that, and they just took the knowledge of the folklore and like, yo, we can use this for something.
I'm not gonna lie, that's genius. That's genius. That's genius. Maybe one day I can use something like that in war.
Shaquille O'Neal is a giant, but did you know he was this big and standing next to his ex-wife? Wow. Him holding a normal Krispy Kreme donut. Him holding a basketball. Shaq's championship ring is so big that a normal person has to use their fingers to stay on their hand. Shaq wears a size 23 shoe and has to get them custom made. And standing next to the tallest person in the world.
What I'm trying to figure out is, what does it take to make a human that big? Nah, that's ridiculous, bro. Shaq was one big dude.
Here are my top disturbing / sad movies from Mexico. This was highly requested from my Latina community, so thank you so much. Ustedes me cambiaron la vida. Los quiero mucho. Los quiero. Number 1, Amores Perros. Several people with intense living situations, including a teen that gets involved in illegal dogfighting, a supermodel, and a hitman, all have their lives unseemingly connected. This movie's gonna make you cry, get frustrated, get angry. It's really good. Check it out. Number 2, Pan's Labyrinth. A young girl gets a new stepdad that is captain of the Spanish army. However, he's extremely evil, he's a sadist, so he likes to watch people suffer. But through a fairy, she finds a secret labyrinth, and that's when she discovers a whole new fantasy world. And a lot of these fantasy creatures are like really creepy looking, so Guillermo del Toro just knows how to make monsters. If you know, you know. Last but not least, La Misma Luna. An undocumented Mexican child crosses the border to find his mom. This one's gonna make you cry.
Last night, a TikToker posted a video that seemed harmless until you looked at the comments and you realized something that was not right. In the video, this is the clip that got everyone questioning what's going on. You see him petting a dog, he turns back, and it's gone.
What the?
Now, that wouldn't be too weird until you watch this video that he posted. Everyone's saying something just doesn't feel right about the video. He met a skinwalker. How could the dog
neighborhood
disappear that
skinwalker
fast, etc. So right here, if you look in the rear view mirror, you can see he's trying to pet the dog, but there's no dog there. And that is the part that got me and everybody else.
Mandy Skinwalker's been haunting people, bro. Like, what's going on? That is kind of creepy, though, when you look back and you see in the mirror that the dog isn't there. But, like, I wonder what he had to say about it, though.
This ex-fashion model was found dead at the side of the road. 47-year-old Rebecca Landreth worked for years as a successful fashion model, and she was also a great violinist. She was a finalist in the 2014 Miss Manhattan contest and America's It Girl Miss Lady Liberty. On February the 7th, 2021, in Union County, Pennsylvania, her body was discovered. A PennDOT worker discovered her body on the side of the road, and she had gunshot wounds to her neck. She also had wounds to her head, chest, and hand. The police shut down the area as they searched for evidence. Her face was so damaged it was hard to identify her at first. Rebecca had actually become estranged from her family and was travelling around under a different name. She'd been hitchhiking with truck driver Tracy Rollins, and it was actually a note in her pocket that led police to him. When they found him, they found the murder weapon, blood evidence, and bone fragments. He'd shot her 26 times, and he said this was to ensure that she was definitely dead and no longer suffering. Although he had made a poor attempt to clean up the crime scene, he hadn't done enough to conceal his guilt. He admitted to this hideous crime and will spend between 40 and 80 years in prison.
You know, that's the difference between like serial killers, psychopaths, and like general people that I guess made mistakes, is that the guilt you feel from just eliminating someone, mostly if it's someone you knew, is just terrible, bro. Your brain is gonna consistently be telling like, yo, you did some stupid stuff, man.
It's October 2nd, 2002. James Martin has just been shot in the parking lot of Shoppers Food Warehouse in Wheaton, Maryland. This would mark the beginning of a 3-week-long attack on innocent civilians across Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. James Buchanan was another victim whose life was taken on the following day. The motive unknown, but these sniper-style unalivings would continue for the following weeks, claiming the lives of 10 people and injuring 3 others. 35-year-old Conrad Johnson would be the last victim after being shot from inside the bus he drove for work. 2 days later, 41-year-old John Allen Muhammad and 17-year-old Lee Boyd Malvo were apprehended while sleeping in their modified blue Chevrolet Caprice at a rest stop off Interstate 70 in Maryland. The vehicle had holes drilled out of the trunk to allow the muzzle of the gun to peek out, and another hole for visibility.
I remember doing that story and was like, damn, these people really were just doing it for no reason, just cause. Like, imagine just walking shopping with your family or something, going to the movies, and out of nowhere just you see someone next to you just like, what the? Like, getting sniped is scary, bro, because you don't know where the shots are coming from.
This is why you should never get involved with an exorcism. A young priest and exorcist was driving out of town when he got a call from the Vatican. He had just finished one of the most brutal exorcisms in his life, surrounding a young boy who had been possessed. And although he battled for days, he wasn't successful. His bishop wanted to see him immediately. He arrived late that night and was brought straight through to the bishop, where he was informed that he was needed urgently in a small town in America regarding a new possession. When he arrived there the following night, he was shocked at how normal the farm looked, but he could tell on the family's faces when they greeted him at the door that they'd been living in distress for a while. The father led them into the kitchen and, along with his 2 daughters, explained how his 3rd daughter was possessed and how they thought it was just night terrors to begin with, but more recently she had started to harm them in her waking hours and speaking in different languages, and how they would find her crawling around at all hours of the night like a feral animal. However, when he went up to her bedroom to meet her, she seemed fine, but this was short-lived and she quickly reverted to her demonic self. He tried to exorcise her then and there, but before he could, she said in Latin, "They are coming for you, and there's nothing you can do, priest." The family, who were rightfully upset, said that they wanted the exorcism to take place the following night at sunset and didn't want to wait any longer. Agreeing to this, the next day, the priest decided to venture into town, and whilst there, decided to speak to some of the townspeople, one of which was a school friend of the girls. Seeing this as an opportune moment, he decided to probe him about her. He told the priest that he only really knew her through film studies when they were tasked with recreating the Exorcist film in school. This shocked the priest and asked if they'd ever learnt any Latin for that recreation. And to the priest's shock, the exact words she'd said to him in Latin were taken from their recreation in class. He also bumped into a local church member who informed him that the family weren't religious and always kept to themselves. With things not adding up, he raced back to the farm, and when he got there, he was shocked at what he saw. A cult-like gathering around a bonfire, and as he got closer, he saw the girl hooded with them. Just then, the other members crowded him and dragged him towards the bonfire. She explained to him that she was never possessed and that they needed a way for the Vatican to send them a priest, but more than that, an exorcist.
Damn.
And that there was no better sacrifice than he who casts out demons. And with that, they threw him into the bonfire and watched it go up in flames. And the young girl watched with a sinister smile as it's revealed that the sacrifice was successful and she's now pregnant.
Man, the twist in that was crazy. I feel bad for that priest, but hey man, it's part of the job. Gotta get shit done, you know what I'm saying?
Mariam lives in the UK with her family, and after having a small baby, strange things started happening at her home. And she decided to record some of these strange things, and I'm gonna show you guys some of her very creepy videos. This is one of her first videos, check this out.
So if anyone is here, can you give me any sign, anything, move the chair from the table or something? Oh my God, okay, wait, okay, wait. Look at that, look at that, look. Can you stop now? It's enough. I know you are here. It's enough. What do you want? Okay.
What?
Okay, leave it. You need to leave now. This is not your house. You need to leave. This is not your house. No.
They were very creeped out about it, and after uploading several videos on the issue, things
30
got even
million
creepier.
views?
The thing is, paranormal investigators say you should not communicate back with these spirits because things can get creepier, and they did. And this is one of her next videos. Check this out.
Yo, he ran left the baby, damn.
Well, you can imagine that they were very creeped out, but it gets even creepier. Check this out.
Nothing yet. Oh my God. Give me that food. Oh my. Nothing yet. Nothing. It's nothing. Oh my God. What is this? Everybody. Oh my God.
Kid sound like his mom's getting murdered. Nah, that is creepy as hell. I'm surprised she got 30 million views on that one TikTok. That was impressive. A lot of freaking people, dude. Crazy. I really wonder what that was, though.
So let's talk about the horrific case of Ezra McCandless. On the evening of March 22nd, 2018, 20-year-old Ezra McCandless was found running through the woods, covered in blood and her clothes shredded to pieces, and she claimed that she needed help because she was being attacked. Ezra claimed that she was attacked by her ex-boyfriend, 23-year-old Alex Woodworth, while the two sat together in Ezra's car. When police went to check out Ezra's car, that's where they found the body of Alex Woodworth, and he had been stabbed over 16 times, mainly in his neck and his groin area. Now, Ezra was arrested and charged with the death of Alex. However, she claimed the whole time that she did it in self-defense. However, it was soon revealed in court that Ezra actually did it because she was trying to get back her ex-boyfriend Jason at the time, because Jason broke up with her because he caught her cheating on him with Alex, and so she figured without Alex in the picture, Jason would get back together with her. In the end, Ezra was found guilty in the death of Alex and sentenced to life in prison.
If the dude you cheated on him with, dead or not, he is not going to get back with you. You literally broke the trust. It's over. Relationship done. Move on. That killing was honestly unnecessary on her part, and she got life for that. So RIP to that victim, though.
Let's talk about the secret, disturbing ending you won't believe of the horror game Cannibal Abduction. Full playthrough up here. In Cannibal Abduction, you're trapped in the house of a family of cannibals. But the family members were not always like this. The family members felt there was someone communicating with them through the radio, and they eventually went insane. These notes lead you to the room where they cut up the bodies and threw them down a pit. Wait a second, if they ate the body parts, why did they throw them down a pit? Eventually, you go down the pit yourself in order to escape. And instead of escaping, if you have the metal key, you get a secret ending. An alternate path hides flesh-colored walls, revealing the secret of the family. Wait a minute, there are eggs here, and one of them isn't hatched. Was the family trying to feed something? A giant monster then rushes towards you and the game ends. My theory is that these monsters are aliens that came to Earth, somehow communicated with the family through the radio, and caused them to go insane and bring them food. And the food just so happened to be humans.
Bro, what's up with these games trying to make these men eat humans? Eating humans is kind of crazy. Imagine if the roles were flipped and instead of us eating cows and chickens and cows were eating humans. Yo, that would be crazy. Nah, that would be terrifying too. But if you like the video, please like the video. Remember that these chains are free for limited time only. Remember to join the 3% of people that are subscribed and subscribe. Love you.